Alright, hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to build Ancestral Dragon EC Hell mode part 2 of 2. Alright, so begin with when you drop down, near the top of the map opposite the entrance is where the magic orb will spawn with a dragon overlooking it, and then the second melee boss will spawn in the center and you will want your vanguard to pull it to the bottom. Okay, so to start off for this, you're going to need soak groups. Soak groups are for the melee boss will do like a pentagram with a bunch of orbs that spawn. They spawn at each platform, like the closest to the center of each platform, and they will need to be soaked. Well, they don't need to be soaked. Soaking them will give you like 40% demon break, and so it'll give you a lot of damage. It's very important to actually doing this, as this third phase has I believe it's 6 minutes and 30 seconds enrage timer, so you need to kill it before then. And so for our soak group, since we have 4 melee, we just do 2 melee on each side of where the boss is normally tanked, and then the range tank 2 of these back ones each. So 2 range here, 2 range here. You can use this one, or like you can use any of these two, just as long as you have 2 people soaking at each. You can solo soak. I would not recommend it though, because it'll do like 90% of the range DPS's HP, or if you're under geared, it'll just kill you. If you do have 3 melee, then I would recommend something like this. You have Vanguard maintain solo soaking, because it won't do that much damage to him, but then the 2 melee, 2 range here, 2 range here, and then you can have a Spirit Shaper soaking with the last ranged. Okay, so that's just soaking. Besides that, there won't really be any area requirements for this boss, so just push to center. Try to have your squishy DPS not be in center. We never do though, just people are lazy, and there are just 2 of them because they were lazy and didn't think about it. Alright, so to start off with this fight, do not DPS it. Have your Vanguard get aggro, and do not DPS it. You want to... Okay, here's the orbs. He does this big pentagram that looks like it's going to spawn the orbs at different places, but no, it spawns them always here, 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 here. This is the magic orb, by the way, and then here. And so we have 2 of us here. We have the 2 melee here, 2 ranged here, and here's another 2 ranged. Like I said, preferably they take this one. But you can take this one. It's just, if you get a totem here, it's going to be a little bit farther to run, so it doesn't really matter though, as long as you act quick enough. There's the orbs. You get the debuff for 2 minutes. Let's count it as a debuff, but it gives you demon break. This is Totem. Remember, you're still not DPSing the boss. He spawns the totem normally after he does the orbs. It will knock up the first person that gets targeted by the totem, but then everyone else in the party needs to run over to the totem to you get this little debuff, or this little, it's a debuff, but it protects you from the actual totem damage. The main tank does not soak this, or does not use the totem. The main tank soaks the damage with either like shield wall or a cooldown in general. After this totem, above 50%, he will always, or 90% of the time, sometimes he bugs and he will do this nets jump at a different time. Honestly, that's just bad RNG, and you might wipe just because of it. But 99% of the time, he will, after the totem hits, the dragon breathes down and the totem protects you. After that, he will do this jump, this little thing where he slams to the ground. You can either single jump it or double jump it. It's just like, if you jump after the totem hits. So if you jumped right now, hit the ground and then double jump, you will not get hit by it. Or you can just watch his mechanics. It's pretty easy too. Whenever he casts something, Vanguard main tank or another Vanguard or Blade Masters, if they spec it, needs to be interrupted, as it'll do like a permanent route on people. Okay, after you do your totem and you do the jump phase, then push the boss past 98%. You can DPS until like 99, but after 98% is when, or at 98% is when he starts doing the breath. And this big AoE is the breath. If you go to the end of the video, I will show a little a clip of some of the dragon mechanics, because the ranged DPS, mainly the spirit or the sword mages, need to be watching the mechanics of the actual dragon on the cliff, and so that way they'll be able to call this out, because you need, most of your DPS will need to pop cooldowns to survive the breath. Like SMs will normally need to pop ice block, and gunslinger can pop mech and stuff like that. But yeah, then after 98% you can just DPS it freely. The boss will regularly, or the melee boss will regularly like charge to people nearby. So like the spirit shapers sometimes, and like the other melee around him, and he will just do attack it. Make sure you don't want to be right next to him. This as a melee, if you see this triple attack in front of you, the first phase, it only does like maybe, it only did like 10% of my HP, but as soon as that comes out, you need to get to the other side, because that will hit. At least with Fearless, it kills me. If not, gets me. If it doesn't kill me without Fearless, so it's definitely something that you need to look out for as a DPS in general, mainly as a melee DPS though. Here's the totem again. Picks one random person. As you can see, it was right there. Everyone in the party gets, besides the vendor, main tank, gets to it. And then they do the double jump for the jump mechanic. There's a charge, kind of hurts. Another breath went out. %90 of survival on this boss is just making sure that you call out the breaths. If you can call out the breaths, then you can do most of this boss without having to worry about it. This is a root. As you can see, it roots them. He just does it periodically. You have to mercurial out of it. As you can see, our Blade Master got caught in whatever that spin skill is, and he couldn't cancel it with a mercurial, and so he died. And the dragon also slams down periodically throughout the fight. It normally doesn't do enough damage to kill anyone, but yeah, it's just a little bit of extra healing that you needed to do. Here's another 3 triple strike again. As you can see, Vanguard Maid Tank just shorts it off, doesn't do anything. Here's another totem coming out. Here's another jump. Okay. We will soon have a breath. As the rotation, as long as you wait for as long as you wait for the totem and the jump to go out before pushing 98% in the very beginning, the rotation will almost always be totem, jump, and then breath. And so that's why you delay it, so you always have like a pretty reliable rotation. See, here's the breath. Here's another orb phase. Everyone soaks. Everyone's in the groups. Okay, he's pushing 50%. When you push 50%, he will cause this like tornado looking thing. This is, well, it's called triple jump, but it's 3 double jumps in a row. So you need to call this out when you see him doing this tornado thing. When he jumps up into the air, so when he first jumps up into the air, jump with him, so that way you get the timing right. When you hit the ground, double jump. When you hit the ground, double jump. Hit the ground, double jump. And that'll let you live through it. Obviously there's some other ways to live through it, but that's just how I've always found out. If your ping is a little bit different, you might have to find another way. Okay, under 50%, the dragon will do this outside ring, where he just like travels around in a circle. This is basically free DPS just don't draw out into this outside circle, and the dragon will not do breath, he will not do totem or anything like that. And so it's basically just a free DPS phase. If you have cooldowns and this phase comes up, you want to probably use them. Here's another interrupt that needed to go out, and it did. Here's a totem coming. It's far. You don't really want your totems out this far, but you know, if you're looking for it, your group can call it in time. Here's another root. Material out of it. All good. The routes is kind of buggy and they go through here. That was another slam. But yeah, the routes will kind of periodically go through the platform. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. Here's another triple jump phase. Yep, double jump, double jump, double jump. Another little charge there. Here comes another totem. It's in center, a little bit easier to get to. Oh yes, and under 50%, he will not do the single jump after totem. He only does the triple jump under 50%, so you don't have to worry about the single jump. Although I still kind of do it out of habit, just coming out of totem, just to do the single jump to jump it. Another interrupter went out there. Another little charge, just dodge out of it. Another circle phase, and we will have another triple jump. That's another just slam. Here's triple jump coming out. This is kind of bad. We get triple jump and breath at the same time, so our entire party almost wipes. But you know, obviously Vanguard main saint wouldn't have died, and we're all good. Okay, this after you kill the boss, you will spawn this optional boss. I believe it only drops like a bag. I don't believe it really drops loot. So it's not, don't kill yourself if you can't kill it. You only get one attempt, and the attempt starts immediately after you kill the boss. So I mean, it's not required or anything, so don't kill yourself for it. Just, it's something that you'll probably get in time, which we're still far from killing. Oh, and if you do spend too long fighting this boss, make sure that you have someone grab the loot or the box over there, or else the box will despawn. So don't waste your loot just to get the optional boss. Alright, so this is the end part where I'll load up this other clip of me dead where I can actually see the dragon on the cliff's mechanics. Let's see, 515. This was just one of our early attempts where we were just still learning the boss. We couldn't really call out stuff. Okay, here's Totem. So when Totem starts, the only thing that he's ever going to do is just go up into the air, and he's the one that like creates the big purple cloud that comes out after or when you soak Totem. So here's a big purple cloud that was the totem that you use, or well, that you use the totem to soak, and then that's a single jump. And he lands back down. Basically, this right here is like the only thing that you need at least one person in your party to call, which is breath. So his mouth glows. He lurches downward. His mouth glows. As soon as you see that, you have to call out breath, so that way everyone in your party can pop their defensives that they need to live. You know, if you're out gear this, then you can survive without defensives, but some classes just need the defensives for sure. If it's their, if it's your entire party's first time on this boss, you will likely have people who need this call out. So here's a breath. As you can see, this isn't supposed to be like a super requirement. It's just one person needs to call out breath for sure. Here's a slam. He just jumps up into the air and slams down. That's another totem. That was a totem and then a single jump. Here's another breath. As you can see, the rotation, as long as you delay pushing 98% until after the totem and the first jump, the rotation is almost always totem, jump, breath. Or later on when he starts doing the triple jump, it becomes totem, 5 seconds, breath. And so it's all just about surviving on this fight. As long as most of your DPS survive, you should have the DPS to kill it. I think early on we had probably about 5 of our group stay alive we had about 5 people die above 90% just due to unfortunate things, and then the 5 of us got it almost down to 35%. And this was when we were still under gear. Like, I don't think I did have 5 set, but I didn't have like most of the gear that I have for this video, or especially now. And so, you know, it's mostly just surviving. You can run a Vigor build, most likely. I don't, because I'm Vanguard and I'm for the most part tanky enough to tank this. But this third phase is just survive, you know, get the buffs from the orbs, and just DPS. And you should easily beat the timer as long as most of your group can do that. Alright, thank you for watching.